All right, let's now welcome political analyst Dr. Levy Ndou to talk more about this. A very good afternoon to you, Dr. Ndou. Thanks for joining us and a warm welcome to SA Today.
Good afternoon to you, Simpiwe. Good afternoon to the viewers at home. Thank you for having me.
Now, Dr. Ndou, isn't the legal action by ActionSA an indictment perhaps on the ANC and its image, which has appeared unwilling, so to speak, to hold the minister accountable?
There has been a trend in South African politics of political parties having to opt to report those that occupy higher offices to be held accountable. In this case, you have got a situation where the ANC has got its own internal processes, and you also have got government processes that still have to unfold. But ActionSA, it's another political party that is trying to cement its position in South African politics, is trying to take a lead in ensuring that what is in the view of many South Africans has to be done. There are most people who feel that the situation that is facing the Justice Minister will require her to do a resignation or to actually step aside or take leave so that this investigation should take place. It can also be that they feel that maybe some within the ANC would want to protect the minister, or the president appears to be taking longer to act. And what ActionSA will be doing now could be in the best interest of us, but at the end of the day, ActionSA will be mentioned as a party that has been bold enough to want to see action done as quickly as possible.
And having said that, am I correct to opine that the silence of the President, the Public Protector and the Parliament Speaker is telling? I mean, considering that the evidence against the Minister is quite glaring for someone who heads a Justice Ministry.
It is unfortunate that when the President has to act, there should be as much information as possible at his disposal so that whatever action it takes, it should be based on sufficient evidence. Equally, we would know that the minister has already appeared in the Justice Portfolio Committee. The minister has also appeared before the Integrity Commission of the ANC, and we're still waiting to get the report from the ANC. And my view also is that with the institutions like the Public Protector, which has to take time to act, and based on a number of factors like getting evidence and many other factors, it might take longer than expected. And my view is that ActionSA appears to be saying, we don't have to wait any longer, and they're actually taking this bold step so that the law enforcement agencies have to act. And of course, I think what they want to see happening is a situation where the law enforcement agencies will have to act faster. If the minister has to be charged, get charged so that the step-aside rule has to take effect. That could also be another way of assisting the ANC to move faster, because if you have to rely on the ANC processes, this activity would still take longer time than expected.
Well, the minister is quite adamant that there is no conflict of interest between her involvement with the VBS matter and her position in the executive. And considering that she's the political head of the Justice Department, so what's the likelihood then, Dr. Ndou, that she might influence investigations and all proceedings relating to the case?
You will recall that at the Justice Portfolio Committee, this is the matter that was raised and debated for quite a longer period of time. And indeed, based on an explanation, she could not be in a situation to influence the processes that will take place in terms of prosecution and also investigations. But there are two things. The first thing will be that the Justice Minister is innocent, and number two, the Justice Minister could be guilty. What we need to wait for now is if she is guilty, and she would know is that her moral compass should assist her to do what is right, because those members of the ANC would take longer to act in the interest of themselves, the party and the South African public, harm the ANC and the South African public much bigger. So my view is that if indeed she's adamant that she's innocent, she will still be proven innocent. But if she knows that something wrong has happened, like there's now new evidence that is coming that seek to suggest that those papers appears to have been cooked, she would therefore know that that tarnishes the image of the ANC even more.
I mean, the jury's still out on who will make the determination of whether she's guilty or not, because the evidence is quite glaring against her. But let's now shift focus now and talk about the ANC in the Northwest and the power dynamics in that province. So what are the implications of the party's reshuffle in the Northwest? Is this perhaps a response to internal pressure, or is the party trying to consolidate power ahead of the next elections?
You would know that the ANC has spoken more and emphasized the gender balances within the party. At the same time, you expect members of the ANC at different levels of government to do likewise and ensure that the gender issues are properly addressed. Leaders of government who have got powers to reshuffle their executives, they will do so based on a number of factors. One of the factors that they will consider will be issues that relates to performance, and I don't think that could be a reason right now to talk about performance, because this government has just been established over 100 days ago, and most of the people still have to sit down and settle. My sense is that pressure that came from Luthuli House could have influenced the reshufflement of government in that area. Another area that, in my view, we need to look at is that the Northwest Province is one of the provinces that is lagging behind on matters of service delivery. And I expect those that are given the responsibilities to run that province to ensure that they put people that are going to ensure that there is sufficient service delivery and the citizens of the Northwest Province are kept happy. And right people that are supposed to be put in those offices should be put there in order for the Northwest Province to change and become much better.
All right, Dr. Ndou, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for sharing your analysis with us this afternoon. Well, that was political analyst Dr. Levy Ndou just sharing his thoughts on the political developments around the ANC in the Northwest, and as well as the ActionSA having laid a charge against Justice Minister Thembis Melane.